Around 7% of the world's oceans are covered by sea ice for at least part of each year. The bright surface of the sea ice reflects sunlight back into the atmosphere, which helps regulate climate and restricts heat transfer between ocean and atmosphere. Dr. Jordan Pitt researches the interaction between sea ice and ocean waves.
The moving water causes the sea ice to develop differently than if it was just still.
Bigger waves can break up the sea ice into smaller chunks called flows. Dr. Pitt is trying to better understand what happens when water washes over those flows in the Antarctic region.
This is where water comes on top of the flows, and this can lead to growth or melting depending on the surrounding temperature.
His findings will be fed into broader models that help scientists better predict the rate of climate change. Dr. Pitt is one of 5 recipients of the 2022 Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Scientist Award, which recognises outstanding students and early and mid-career researchers in the physical and biological sciences. He says he hopes the honour sends a message to Indigenous Australians that they are welcome in the STEM community. That's a sentiment shared by another of this year's recipients, Vanessa, Sewell.
For the first time, my work is being recognised by my peers, which is important, and I'm also able to represent my Aboriginal mob in science on a national stage.
Miss Sewell's research aims to better prevent internal parasites in sheep. The problem costs the Australian livestock sector more than $450 million a year. She's working on ways to create more sustainable and effective vaccines.
Good animal health and welfare is really important for Australia's sustainable livestock sector as well as for the farming producers.
She plans to use her award grant to travel to Scotland to be part of a prototype vaccine project. Dr. Keon Wheeler's passion is using movement to engage children across a range of early development areas.
We have what's called movement-based skills, and these are things like running, jumping, throwing, walking in a straight line, and they're paired up with social-emotional learning skills.
The programs are co-designed with local communities, ensuring the integration of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander perspectives.
We don't rock up to community and say, hey, we've got this great program that we want you to work with. Instead, we say, hey, we've got this sort of framework that we can work off, and we'd like you to design it with us so that we can better prepare community for the impact of childhood development.
Dr. Wheeler was the first Indigenous Australian to graduate with a PhD from the University of the Sunshine Coast. Now based at the University of Queensland, he says he's proud to play an active role in improving the educational and social outcomes for Indigenous children.